that was my question. Will all of that practice and all of that grinding and matchmaking translate to LAN? And so far, it looks like it has. But a lot of the time, that's not the case. A lot of the time you see, and this has been since Halo 2, that you call players online warriors, essentially. Where like, oh yeah, you're really good online, but on LAN, you kind of stink, you know? And that wasn't the case here. These guys grind online. They're showing up on LAN. I don't know what their placings look like. I don't know if this is their highest or if they qualify, this Exlipse Solar roster qualifies if that's their highest placing. But I think that these guys are very talented. And I mean, you know, the likes of Bid Teaches, you got Despiteful, just constant online matchmaking play. You never stop seeing these guys play the game.
Oh, I think it's easy to root for the grinders, right? The kids that come from open bracket. That's why I'm a big fan of like Scion Esports as well.
Yeah, that roster's rough.
They're grinding it out.
Yeah. Why because they've been together so long, and it's like, I like that in Halo. I like a team that just sticks together no matter what. Yeah, but when do you make the separation?
They're all trying to surpass the same hurdle.
Yeah.
And I think it's a situation with that team that unless if you're getting an offer from a team that's much better than the team that you're on, then why make a change? I think that's kind of the thought process with it. I also think that they've been still improving. So
I agree with that. I just don't think it's been. I think it's like one of those slow, steady improvements that are not visible unless you look at a previous, like an event 6 months ago and an event now. It's just slow, steady improvements.
We got the Exlipse Solar fan club in the front seat.
Well, there you go.
Repping their boys. I like it.
Well, maybe I should be a little biased.
He's on the camera.
Should I be a little biased?
You just did a mewing thing to the camera?
I did not.
Oh, yeah, it's so funny.
Well, since Exlipse has so many fans, I'm going to then go on Alpha side. I want to see a LATAM team make it into the qualifiers.
Hey, I'm right there. I've always been a big supporter of the teams over in Mexico, LATAM. I still think that there's no reason for HCS not to include the entire LATAM region and not just Mexico. We saw that SWAT LATAM. They were in the open bracket. They're in the lower side right now, but they're a team that had to move to the United States to play because they're from Colombia. That just is like, that's such a tough task for anyone that's outside of Mexico in these Spanish-speaking countries to come and compete in HCS when there's so many, especially in Colombia, so many good Halo players in Colombia.
Halo is such a huge thing in Latin America entirely. I mean, being born and raised in Puerto Rico, Halo was a huge thing. It is the reason why I'm here, because I was a Halo player back on the island, and a lot of people were wanting to reach MLG and compete, and it was so hard for the teams to go from the island and be able to make it all the way over to MLG at the time. So I see and I feel what these LATAM teams probably feel like when they're actually making it over here and having a chance at the qualifiers here with Alpha. It's just exciting to see, and it means a lot to any Latin American team that gets a chance, not just Latin America, but at any region that gets to compete in NA. It's just so hard to reach, right?
Yeah, 100%. And the fact that they're that passionate to move to the U.S. to make things happen is just beautiful. It's just pure passion for Halo, and you love to see that. Well, as we get forward here, we're going to make a quick swap with the casters, guys, so hang tight for a second.
All right. Exlipse Solar versus Alpha Esports. We're doing a quick caster swap. We're bringing Eli X, and let's see who else is going to hop on. We're hearing some Spanish words in the back here. We got Makowski and Eli popping in over here.
What's up, guys?
I just got cheered from the crowd. I'm not even playing. They said, let's go, Eli.
Well, they saw you last night. You were playing.
Yeah, maybe they saw me on the Halo 2 games, who knows. But I have been waiting for this one. I'm excited to watch this. Exlipse Solar. Kind of surprising a few people. I'm not that surprised, though, to be honest. Despiteful, Bid Teaches. I think Lido is one of the players on this team as well. So these guys have been fighting their way through the open bracket. And that's a huge shot out of whichever player this is.
Locked in with the snipe, and now locked in with the flag run, making their way down below the snipe bridge as Exlipse Solar have the first pull. More body shot damage with that S7. Continues to push this flag down the ramp, and my God, 3 snipes to his name, and now he's running that flag.
We need to get these names on the screen. I need to know who this is popping off.
I need to commend this man.
And I am so glad we have a third person on the mic because we need the Espanol translation. No mames. Welcome for Zilla to the podcast. As we've got the, looks like first point on the board for Eclipse Solar. That was very fast and kind of surprising against Alpha.
I mean, I've been seeing Eclipse playing lately, and they've been on a streak. They've been on fire. So Alpha Esports really have a lot to do, especially since they've been also dominating their upper side of the bracket. So if they are able to, both of these teams, like put an end to each other's in their spree, so anything can happen, honestly, especially this close to qualifying to the pool play.
They're playing very well. Got another flag out, though. This one's for Alpha. Got to get through this side. Eclipse has complete control of their snipe side and the overshield, so I don't know if this flag's going to be able to make it home.
Good job to earn the melee, make that overshield a little bit more power, a little bit less powerful. It looks like this counter cap is going to stop short. HCS 353, the last player alive for Alpha Esports. And now the counter cap is doing for Eclipse Solar, which ultimately might amount to a double cap after their hot start.
Oh.
Okay, cameras are still going.
There we go, there we go, there we go. We're rolling back, and Sniper is going to come up in like 10 seconds. And Alpha still have to return their flag. They still have a little bit of juice left, so it could go back safely. That's a great kill by HCS 353. Hopefully they are able to defend it, and yeah, it goes back, and the Snipers are up.
New snipers always so critical on this map. If you can't get your own sniper, if it gets stolen from you and the other team still has their own, then you are destined to get spawn killed. Looks like sniper attempted to be stolen here. Disruptor comes out. I don't know if that is a break of GA.
It is. The Disruptor is added to that list. I was going to say the short list. It's kind of a long list of items and weapons that are GA'd here in competitive Halo, but in the open bracket, you're not as I guess exposed to potentially losing out on scrims. These players want to secure their spot in Worlds. So what do you balance there? The spot at Worlds or the scrim potential against Optic or SSG? I might be going for Worlds.
I mean, honestly, yeah. And to be fair, the Disruptor was kind of like on the fringe of the GAs in the first place. Like,
right.
Most people agree that it was kind of thrown in last second and probably shouldn't have even been GA'd. It's not overpowered.
It does have that damage over time return, though, and that's an interesting component that I've always found to be rather intriguing.
Definitely intriguing, but I don't know. We'll have to see. Usually, if a GA is broken, that just means the other team has a green light to also break the GA.
It's fair game. We might even see a shotgun in this series. Who knows? As Alpha Esports continues to make their way across the map, they're getting positioning on Eclipse Solar side of the base, but every time they do so, they go 3, if not 4, down.
What is going on here? That player milked their life so well.
They really need to like find a way to break that defense. I mean, right now Alpha knows when to attack, but it's starting to struggle just a little way too much, and it's costing them. Like, they already know when to attack, when to start gathering the flag, and trying to go for the flag run, but it's just like not quite there yet, and the trades are just going to make it a little bit more difficult.
Leuor having a solid game. He's the newcomer to this roster, filling big shoes. He joined the roster after tapping buttons left, tapping buttons. Widely considered the greatest player probably ever to come out of the LATAM community. So Leuor filling some big shoes, doing so pretty well so far, I would say, but their flag is out. They're not in great positions to return it, but if they can secure some kills, they can cross the map and get this one returned.
Oh, what a dance there, both players with quick flit strafes. As Leuor below the sniper to make his way to a defensive position to stop this run, and he does for now. As the Slay onto Despiteful, now looking for the double kill. A little delayed, so he doesn't earn the medal, but he does earn 2. Flag getting reset, player drops down to contest it, and even Trade will take that timer down to 1 second. He makes it a quick read for Acid.
Good 1-2 punch by Drift and Acid there to make sure that flag goes home. Despiteful get some help from a teammate, bailed out a little bit there. It's just such a good roster. By the way, I said Lido earlier. I was thinking Luiney. Sorry about that. So Luiney, Despiteful, Bit teaches Sylvanic. Such a strong roster. Not surprised at all to find themselves in the winter semifinals here. Keep in mind, winner of this will advance to pools already. The loser of this has to win one match, a tough match in the lower bracket to find themselves in the pools.
I don't want to go there after Team Lethal Fox dips into the lower bracket. Your #1 seed, you're in the open bracket. Going to be one of those teams in the way. Whichever team loses this series, as Acid has some good shots Grenade goes out, potentially getting some collateral damage on 2 players, but the grenade goes off the map, does no damage, but enough to take down 1. All the while, that flag continues to run here. Alpha Esports looking to tie things up.
Uh-oh, but they've got a sniper in a good spot to stop it. Hits the shot.
Oh, the last minute
So
goal line
clutch.
stand, 3 go down, and now you can't overextend this. You have to play your process, play for a few more slaves. You gotta take down Despiteful with this snipe.
Despiteful goes in for the return as well.
He
So
gets
clutch.
it.
Insane plays out of Despiteful there.
That sniper really made a lot of damage. They weren't letting them
And
go.
they cap a flag as well.
In the blink of an eye, a 1-1 match is now a 2-0 lead for Exlipse Solar as they look to put the finishing touches on Game 1. And with less than 5 minutes to go, a 2-0 lead, they're in the driver's seat.
So looks like we had a couple of names wrong. Just flipped Luiney and Sylvanic. Luiney 15 and 13. This guy, I'm gonna be honest, some of the pro community were accusing this man of cheating. And I'll tell you what,
That's a
he's doing it
compliment.
on land.
And that's a win for Exlipse Solar. A swift, clean 3-0 win sets them up for success here and a potential to earn their spot in pool play.
I mean, that's one way to just like prove that you're not cheating. You just show up to land and
That's always been the way to
destroy people. That's how you have to get over the allegations. Some people aren't able to do that. But Luiney so far proving that he's a force to be reckoned with.
Is that not like the greatest flex, though, to get accused of cheating and then to show up on land and do what he just did and is doing? I mean, I can't think of a better way to squash those accusations.
A lot of the new people that come up and have a lot of skill, they go through that, right? They go through a period where people just don't believe that they're as good as they are. It's just because they haven't been recognized yet. Like, everybody has to start somewhere, right? So, wow. Eclipse with an emphatic 3-0 victory. I think Alpha probably reeling a little bit from that one. I know this is definitely not the end of their efforts. Alpha is definitely the type of squad that could bounce back in any situation. So, what do you think is going to be the key to success for Zilla, for Alpha to come back in this one?
It's a really tough scenario because we already saw that when it came to the capture the flag, they were just being dominated over and over again. Most of the power items, like I'd say around 90% of them, were really in favor of Exlipse. Like we saw the overshield, the sniper, and there was really the key damage right there with the sniper, that it was just like a full stop when it came to those headshots, to those like they were right there for the capture. They were just completely like wiped away from the map, and that's what really, like, they were really trying to go for the capture, that they forgot that they had to find a way to, like, you know, find a strategy around defending and then attacking again.
It was a 1-1 game. It was 1 yard away from a 1-1 game, but instead Exlipse Solar get the reset there, counter cap, and quickly win 3-0 as we're already in to game number 2, Slayer live fire, and a spectacular after just 5 seconds. That's something we've never seen before, but it's going to be a reset.
Weird bugs that happens is the score to win can transfer from game type to game type sometimes on land. So because the previous game was a 3 flag, it for some reason carried over 3 kills.
Like when
to
you
win
see
the
the
Slayer.
map in the thumbnail and it's not actually that.
Yeah, it's just
the
a
previous
weird
map, but it's
carryover
really
glitch.
live fire we're playing. So a little bit of a glitch in the system. It's all good. We'll get back into the action here soon. Now the question is, Eli, first, do we go to an even clean reset, or does that 3-1 advantage stick? I don't know. It's kind of tough to call.
I think it's going to be up to the admin.
Well, it happened back when I was like on one of the matches, like reffing, and the thing is, like, the score transfers. Like if
I think it should.
If it was like a 3-2, it transfers. Like it sets a 3-2 start for Xeon. So
I think it
because
should.
there was no crashes, no difficult no difficulties, rather. Technical difficulties.
Yeah.
So
it's a normal start.
it's like nothing ever happened. Like the time stays the same. It's just like the scoreboard's like transfers over. Like
Yeah, they
no
should be
issues.
able to set the starting score up to 3-1.
And with that capability within the game itself now, you can pick up where you left off. So it happened so fast, I wasn't even sure who had the 3-1 lead. But I do think
It was Eclipse.
I do think Exlipse should start this game 3-1. We'll have to wait and see what the official word is from the admins before we get back into game 2 on live fire. But wow, this is the Cinderella run of the tournament so far. We saw Dead Inside with an upset victory over TLF, and Exlipse Solar looking to earn 2 upset wins on the winner's side of the open bracket. I don't think anybody expected that.
I mean, they also beat Scion, who's a... Yeah, they defeated Scion to get here, right? In winners 3? Yeah. So then they 3-0'd him, which is very impressive. Scion was one of the teams that we were looking out for. They've been making strides at every tournament, it seems, getting closer and closer to making it out.
And now Scion has to go up against Mind Freak in the lower quarterfinals, I want to say. So, man, the fork in the road for Exlipse Solar. That's why you got to take advantage of your opportunity. It might just come down to one series. It might just come down to one game, one slay. It could completely twist your fate and send you to the World Championship or not. As we load back into game number 2, Exlipse Solar up 1-0 in this series after an incredible 3-0 win. But again, it's very close to being a 1-1 tie. That game was a lot closer than the final score said. Believe that they'll open up this match with a 3-1 lead, but we'll find out here soon enough.
Taking a look at some things that are not on this map, no Overshield or Heat Wave, but still a beautiful map nonetheless. I want to see some cool quantum translocator plays this game. I feel like I haven't seen anything too crazy done with it yet this weekend. So somebody surprise me. Show me something cool.
All right, we're starting off even 0-0. We go again fighting for that sniper rifle top mid. Opening strike goes in favor of Exlipse Solar, but Alpha Esports answer right back. Look at the middle of the map presence from Exlipse Solar, but that close proximity to each other, that spacing actually allows Alpha Esports to take advantage of it. They take the snipe to their favor. We're tied 3-3 off the start.
Yeah, so the score did carry over from the reset. New camo is up.
Okay, so it did, excuse me.
Yeah, it did. Now, 5-3 here. Sniper still got 4 bullets left to work with. Patient, knows this player wasn't seeing him, but has to land the shot. Expect this last bullet to get burned as well. Does not want to give any room to the other team. Despiteful does go down. It's still 4-1. Sorry, 4-1 to start, despite not being able to hit a few extra snipes.
9-7 now. As Exlipse Solar hang on to a 2-kill lead. Opening strike goes in favor of Alpha here. So they do have the numbers advantage to pinch and collapse and take down that sniper tower control that Exlipse Solar have a pretty good look at. One player at the top, one player at the bottom. Main switch potential lining up here as both teams make their move. But it's the high tower snipe positioning that has Exlipse Solar the +1 net outcome in this fight. And they might just be looking for the wipe. Yes, they do. They secure it. And with that, Exlipse Solar grow their lead to 3.
Very nice aggressive play from Luiney there, just cutting his way through the map to guarantee that kill. And ends up isolating himself from the rest of the squad, but it doesn't matter. Squad is showing up after his death to clean up the situation. They have a 5-kill lead out of nowhere.
The situation's getting a little bit complicated for Alpha, and they just keep falling one by one. As basically, there's nothing much they can do. Like, they need to start playing a little bit more patient, and the aggressiveness is just not quite there because they just keep getting taken down one by one.
Definitely need to start letting the play come to them, maybe set traps, because, I mean, the way Exlipse are playing, it feels like they're just running very fast, aggressively across the map every time they get a single kill. If the Alpha can start to recognize that, maybe just sit and wait for them to push 2v1 one player, and then you can play out from there. So we'll look to see if Alpha can adjust. These guys are very experienced. They've been through many games. They've made comebacks. I believe they're capable of making the adaptation, and so far they look to do pretty well for that. Drift with a nice double, but still a 5-kill lead for Exlipse.
It's been Despiteful for me. His confidence is brimming from his avatar, and you can see it relaying through to the rest of his team, giving a sense of calm and ease in an ever-important qualification match for pool play on the line, sitting at 11-0-4. So sure, he's not helping out his teammates with the assist, but he's helping them earn the victory here in game 2, up by 5 because of the slays in droves from Despiteful.
Streamer as well. Recommend following this man. He streams quite frequently. Just on the matchmaking grind. I think he streams his scrims as well, but it's Luiney with the sniper. This guy's been impressing me quite a bit ever since he started coming to these lands. People need to stop underestimating this man.
They won't have a choice. If they're to qualify and make it to the main stage and have their chance to go up against the world's best, you can't deny it. Undeniable are Exlipse Solar in their run through this open bracket on the winner's side. 31-25 now as we've reached the 30s. Exlipse Solar still clinging to a multi-possession lead here. Alpha Esports need to bring it back to within 4. Need to bring it back to within 1 team wipe as we approach the 40s. Otherwise, this gets out of hand a little bit.
Still, there's some strong communication coming in.
Oh!
Luiney knows exactly where to look.
Oh, Luiney! With the double no-scope, left-right quick flick. And this might just be a quick 2-0.
That was disgusting. And look at the quick rotation, predicting the spawner, but the spawner's too smart. He's hiding behind the pillar. He didn't recognize that.
No.
Finds the next one, though. Too easy to predict.
Too easy, perfect centering
Oh
lined
my
up.
God.
Now he continues to smash his controller joystick right and left. He's probably got some sawdust inside there with how quick and how aggressively he's working that right stick. Luiney putting on a clinic right now with the snipe. Now gets in a close quarter combat. But the support on the pillars, masterful work from Eclipse Solar. Multiple members down to low HP, but they're all supporting each other. 4 go down for Alpha Esports. This lead has grown to double digits.
Things are getting really complicated. It's just trade after trade, and it's not worth it for Alpha Esports. They need to start taking distance. Like you said, they are just going for the aggressive plays, and it's not paying out. And now with this 13-kill lead and the active camo in the hands of Acid, he needs to make a miracle with it. He needs to play absolutely sneaky, and every single shot needs to count.
He's done a good job so far. Finds one. Gets another player to one shot. Okay, here we go. Alpha getting a few on the board. It might be too little too late, though. They're still down by now 13, and the Eclipse only need 4 to close this out.
46 to 33. It was a 4-kill game going into the 30s. This has ballooned out of control, and now Eclipse Solar can jaywalk their way to a 2-0 lead in this series. As Luiney gets another one. Unbelievable slaying power we're witnessing here from Eclipse Solar. Despiteful has 16. Luiney's having a great game, make it 17, and that will do it. Eclipse Solar rather easily now have a 2-0 lead. That was much less contested than what we saw in Game 1, and again, Game 1 was a 3-0.
So impressive. A lot of people have wrote these guys off. Like I said, I mean, literally cheating allegations on the regular for these guys.
Maybe we're finding out why.
I mean, when you watch Luiney's screen, was he not pre-aiming in perfect locations?
It was nasty.
His awareness is just very strong. That's just, it can look like cheating if you're very aware.
Yes, Eli, that is one of the #1 ways to get a cheating accusation is to have great centering, great reticle discipline, to have that reticle set up where the player's head is about to be before it's actually there. It looks like they have walls. They just have great game sense,
just
great
awareness.
fundamental awareness, and great fundamental positioning, not with their 2 feet, but with that reticle. We witnessed that there from Luiney, and he's looking like the real deal.
Absolutely the real deal. Taking a look at the stat page here. What stands out to me the most on this page, I'll be honest, is Drift. 2,400 damage. He, in my eyes, second best player in Mexico behind tapping buttons, I
Absolutely.
think. But he's just been shut down on repeat. I mean, he's just been unable to find himself in his comfort zone just yet. If he can come online, things can change quite a bit for this roster.
They need the Frazilla buff at this point.
I mean, Frazilla knows a lot more about the LATAM scene than I do. So would you agree with that statement about Drift being definitely like top 3 in the region for individual talent?
Yeah, it's a really contested top 3. Like top 1, of course, being tapping, and the top 2 and 3, I'd say they're really contested between both Drift and, to some degree, I'd say Acid.
Acid has really been making a name for himself.
When it comes to slaying power, like, because
So good.
not much to say right there, but taking us back to like the qualifiers, Acid really started making like some really big moves, especially with the S7 sniper. Like every single map that he plays with the S7, he just guaranteed headshots or at least the body shot to get the kill for either himself or his team. So right now what he needs to do is just like, especially here on this next probable last game of the series on King of the Hill and Solitude, he really needs to step it up. The shock rifle is going to be key, but also the active camo.
It feels to me like Alpha's not using the normal teamwork we're used to seeing from them. They have not been working together. And on the other side, you see Eclipse like absolutely tapped in and locked in to work together.
And the reason you're not seeing Alpha Esports look like their usual self is because Eclipse Solar is out here, they're playing bully ball. Yeah. They are taking whatever time and space on the map that they so choose. arrogance almost in Despiteful's positioning. And Luiney's accuracy has been on point and on display in this series. And I think bully ball is the best way to put it. And we don't usually see that against Alpha Esports. This is the team that has come to bully some oppositions on their way from the open bracket to top 12 placings on land throughout the season for Mexico's finest. So this has been a little bit of a shocker for me, not only having this Exlipse Solar squad in this matchup, but the fact that they're absolutely thrashing the competition.
It's not over yet, though. If they keep up the same level of speed and gameplay that we saw in games 1 and 2, they could certainly close it out in 3. But I think Alpha, the type of team to slow it down, make the adjustment, talk it out, decide like, okay, we need to be more methodical in our approach to these situations. We can't just run. They can't just run around and do whatever they want. Just frankly, you have to give some respect to your opponent, and I think they're starting to realize that.
And they do. They realize it. You can see Bid Teach is looking out to the fans in the crowd, wanting one more game, one more game. The job's not finished. So as excited as you guys probably all are, if you're fans of Exlipse Solar, seeing this 2-0 series lead, the job's not finished just yet. Furs, what's it going to take?
It's gonna take a lot. Like it's not every day that we get to qualify for pool play, and today seems like a good day to qualify. So everyone, of course, in Mexico is putting their hopes up in this Alpha roster, like they've been doing time and time again. On Atlanta, it was like a different story. We didn't have Noble. We had, if I remember correctly, we had Atso. So they weren't able to fully qualify. I think they were able to qualify, but they like...
I don't think they did well in pools. I think they did make pools, right?
Yeah, they did make pools, but didn't like went farther than round 1. So what they're looking to do here now is, of course, to just recover that lost terrain, to go back into their 2 feet and reclaim a throne that was lost, that was a thought lost, and that we saw that back in last year Worlds when Mexico first qualified for pool play from the open bracket. They told us that it was possible, that there was still hope, that they were still talented, that we were still strong enough to be able to qualify for pool play. So they are here now, and not only Alpha, but also all the other different Mexican teams that were able to come here. We have Chosen Legacy, we have the original Cinta Negra Day roster. So we had a lot of really great like Mexican teams pull up. And they were able to get a really nice placing. Like they were like 2 or 3 rounds away from actually trying to make the pool play qualifier.
Remember, season opener in Arlington, Optics event. It was Mexico that claimed the free-for-all champion and a top 12 finish from the open bracket.
I think they got number 1 and 2 in the FFA. Azurum.
That's right.
And
Strikey.
Strikey, yeah.
That's
they
right.
got 1st and 2nd, and they got top 12. It's like, okay, we see you.
We were on alert. We were on alert from the very beginning. So despite Alpha being down 2-0 in this series, they've still got every opportunity. Every player on that team has the capability to bring them back from the depths. Granted, again, this is the winner's semifinals of the open bracket, so a qualification match on the winner's side. You lose this, you still get a chance to make it to pool play. But it's not just about pool play in Salt Lake City. This is setting you up for the Halo World Championship in less than 1 month as we kick things off. Game 3 now live, King of the Hill on Solitude as the opening strike goes in favor of Exlipse Solar. They have map control, they have the Shocker, and now they've got the Hill as well. 3 go down for Alpha, and this is not looking well.
It's a super good start for Exlipse Solar. Luiney, we saw what he was doing with the S7 in the last game. Let's see what he can do with the Shock as well. This man plays on a high sensitivity too, by the way. He is able to check multiple angles very quickly. Look at the way he's just meticulously trying to find targets. Gets a call out about these 2 players. Bottom truck is only able to finish 1, but did enough damage, and that's going to get cleaned up with a triple kill killing spree in the first minute of the game out of Bid Teaches.
You're just looking for a sign. You're looking for something from Alpha Esports, and so far it's just been all Exlipse Solar. Despite there being a path for Alpha, Exlipse Solar have muddied it up like a day after a torrential downpour. It has been raining bodies as Exlipse Solar continue to dominate. Another potential. Double kill. Teaching lessons.
He is teaching them how to use the shock rifle. My God, 8-0 to start the game before being taken down. This man is on a mission.
Disgusting. I am so happy and excited for these players, all 4 of them. Sylvanic, Despiteful, Bid Teaches, Luiney, they've all been scrappily grinding through the open bracket. Now their opportunity on the line, and they're seizing it.
best I've seen these guys play in quite some time. Sylvanic has been one of those like sleeper players that's so talented, just has not somehow made it work on land. Just something is clicking differently about this squad. You can hear the energy too. They are getting loud on the stage behind us.
They're feeling it. They know the opportunity is right here, right now, and right now another 3 down for Alpha Esports. And it's almost a worst case scenario for them not going 4 down because it's staggered deaths, split spawns, full map control, and a 1-0 start for Exlipse Solar.
Not only that, but they got the camo. The only good news for Alpha is they've got the early positioning, but they go 3 dead, and Exlipse are just going to take it right back.
And Acid, he can't take that hill. He can't light up the map and let the other team know that he's the last player alive inside the hill, so he wisely backs up. Opens up some cafe spawns here for Alpha Esports, and I do like how Acid waited, said GG's, let's go again. But oh my god, GG's literally with the sticky, predicts the push from the cafe, the spawn control, the manipulation, and the domination is on display. Luiney, the last player alive in the lobby. It's an apocalyptic wasteland, and Exlipse Solar are going to be the better for it.
There's only one explanation for Luiney playing this good. He's cheating. I mean, there's no other explanation.
Check him SSD.
I'm kidding, of course. This kid is the real deal. Look at the grenades coming in from Sylvanic as well. They're easily predicting the next rotation, easily secure this hill, and they're already rotating into blue for the next.
Enemy team took the hill.
You know what I'm noticing is one guy is having his game, right? It was Despiteful in game 1, Luiney in game 2, and now Bit Teaches in game 3. Look across the board. Nobody else has a standout performance. Despiteful's now 3-7, which isn't a bad game by any means, but it's not what we saw from him previously. So it just seems to me like all 4 players can step up when their name is called, and now Despiteful's name is called as he has the shock rifle, and he's putting it back to work. Unbelievable performance we're witnessing here from Exlipse Solar. My God, the sun might just be setting on Alpha Esports.
Confidence is out of control on these guys. This rifle just flying out, going for the no-scope. It's hard to beat a team that's feeling it like this.
Volleyball continues on. So too to the points for Exlipse Solar. We did see Alpha Esports get a GG go next rotation to start the scoring on hill number 3, but they quickly relinquish control of the hill. And it's Exlipse Solar back in it. Even 3v3 for now, so Alpha Esports have a chance, but with shock rifle control continuous for Exlipse Solar, they could just turn this into a camo. This is going to be tough, though. Bit Teaches the last Spartan alive for his team. And somehow he's able to grab the camo. He does burn it. Now Alpha Esports have a chance to make it a 2-1 game. So stop the bleeding, score one for yourself, and you got a chance.
The thing is, because Exlipse has this lead, they can afford to just kind of sit back and let this happen. I would argue it would be better for them to just hold Yard and Tram, because even if they give this hill up, they'll be in position for the next, and they can just gatekeep from there.
The hill is getting captured right now by Alpha Esports. And we see that they're starting to gain a little bit of terrain. The kills are starting to go into their favor, but it's too difficult to be a little bit more positive about it. I mean, it's just 1 hill out of 2 games.
It just goes to show the eye test is being passed in flying colors from Exlipse Solar. Failing for Alpha Esports. You got a groan out of Frizilla as Alpha Esports made it to a 2-1 game. I can't think of anything that exemplifies how dominant Exlipse Solar have been in this series. They can lose a hill point and still feel like they're in the control.
And not only it's just on this series, like in general, they've been playing so aggressively. Exlipse Solar during the whole open bracket, I was able to be like present with how they were playing, how they were absolutely dominating. It seemed that they are just ready to become the next team that will be just next year immediately placed into pool play.
Feels like they're playing at that level. I mean, this guy that teaches, he's been around since the very beginning. I think he did take some time off. I want to say he took like at least 1.5 years, maybe 2 years off. Yep. But he has always been very good. He just hadn't really had the roster around him to show that. And now on his biggest moment, with a chance to qualify for the World Championship, playing his best. I just love to see that.
Relinquishing control of the hill once again are Alpha Esports as they'll go 4 down. Exlipse Solar again with the kit, shock rifle, camo. You might just see some more headshots go through. A little bit of collateral damage does trickle the other opponent down to low shields behind them, and that's just gonna send Alpha Esports back again. They can't push up with a shield advantage even at that, so this has just been all-out domination, despite the fact that it's just a 1 hill match. Might just be back to 2 after this. as Exlipse Solar just need a couple more seconds.
Enemy
This
team
is unreal, man.
double kill.
Filthy!
Sylvanic, all these guys are just
Team took the hill.
playing with a mission right now. No mames.
I mean, if we could translate it into English, that's 100% how I'm feeling. But just so overwhelmed. I mean, we see that the Exlipse Solar basically are reaching like almost 20 kills each of the teammates, and Alpha Esports are barely scraping like 13, 14 kills. Leuor and Noble are on 9 kills, and as we are halfway through this last possible hill, it's just kill after kill after kill, and one needs to recognize that Exlipse Solar really came to win today, and just this scoreline, this bracket run, they are not here to mess around, they are here to win.
It was just 2-1, and now the match and the series are just about over. One final push up the map for Alpha Esports. Or Exlipse Solar are going to claim an easy 3-0 sweep to qualify for pools and potentially even the Halo World Championship, the Cinderella story brewing before our very eyes.
This is so insane to me. None of our top 4 seeds in open bracket are going to make it out on winner's side.
Or maybe even out of open.
Yeah, Dead Inside got 5th, or they were 5th seed. They make it out. And Exlipse Solar, if I'm not mistaken, are like 12th or 11th seed, something like that. So this is a huge, huge open bracket run for these guys. One that we haven't seen in a long time.
Well, a huge camo here for Drift as Alpha Esports hold the line.
Okay.
From 4-1 to now 3-2. Feels a little bit like that Forbidden CTF match where Exlipse Solar flipped the map on its head. Now Alpha Esports doing a little bit of that. And with 1:45 left on the clock, they have plenty of time to tie up this match and send us to sudden death.
I mean, they need to be playing for sudden death. There's no other way. They still have plenty of time, and they need to start placing their players strategically to get that 3rd hill capture under their banner. And they're starting to get the kills rolling, and that's exactly what it needs to happen. Every single killing spree for Drift, and it seems that the demon, the Mexican demon, has woken up.
Could hear them on the stage as well. The energy's starting to finally flow through them. It just felt like there was no energy on their side. Exlipse Solar sucking the energy out of the room, but it's not going to take. They just need one more hill to close this out. But if Alpha can score this, and they're looking in great shape to do so, 3 dead, they're going to tie this up, I think.
They look primed to. 3 go down, still 2 waiting to join back into the match. As Alpha Esports have control of the hill, it almost looks like, Eli, that we're seeing Exlipse Solar set up for the next hill. It looks like we're going to see a tie game. Alpha Esports with an incredible comeback down to the depths of potential to come back, and they've somehow secured a tie.
I think Frazilla was onto something. He said it was about sandbox control. What was the difference here? Alpha finally got the sandbox out of Eclipse's hands.
1 camo.
It's really just 1 camo that made the difference. Before that, Exlipse had all the shock rifles, all the camos. If Alpha can get the items, this is a bit different story, but they do shut down that player that had the shock rifle on their back. Not sure if any ammo is on it. Alpha does get away with the camo, though, and that's big right now. They need to use it right here, right now, though, or their winner's bracket run is going to be over.
I love how Exlipse Solar played this, though. They said, you know what? With that 3-1 advantage, we can set up for the next hill. We can give up. It was at the 75 percentile. We saw Exlipse Solar start setting up for that next hill rotation, and they've now turned it into 75% on the board. But Noble and Alpha Esports just won't die. Somehow find a way to take 3 down for Exlipse Solar, and Exlipse Solar only needing about 5 to 10 more seconds. But if Alpha Esports can hold through after 1 push, they might just win this game.
Leuor with the clutch camo grab, game in his hands in that moment. It's all going to come down to this next push. Will Alpha be able to hold it off, or will Exlipse collapse successfully? Right now, Despiteful's the first one to go down. That does not look good for Exlipse.
Last push, ultimo push. They're starting to get it. 2 down, 3 down. It will be only acid. The last one is standing.
99.9%, and after 3 go down for Alpha Esports, Exlipse Solar only need 5 more seconds. I don't know if they're gonna have the time out to respawn.
Go in.
It doesn't matter. Alpha Esports, heartbreaking loss. They had positioning, but they didn't have enough time as Exlipse Solar secure the 3-0 sweep, and they're spotting pools.
My God, that was insane. The emotion that's coming off of the stage. They're the 10th seed, so I was just corrected. Thank you, Aliek, for helping me out with that mid cast. They had the 10th seed.
That's wild.
When was the last time we saw a 10th seed make it out on the winner's side of the open bracket? I don't know if we ever have.
Everyone's just looking at each other.
HCS
No answers.
We've never seen that low of a seed make a run like this. They had to upset 3 different teams on their way to this spot, and they made it out in winners.
They're that Grim Reaper meme, just knocking on the door of higher seeded teams, and who's next?
Insanity.
We'll play.
Absolutely heartbreaking.
I'm sorry, Brazilla.
I'm sure Brizilla's heartbroken.
They're not out yet. They're not out yet.
They're not out yet.
Maybe that was the wake-up call they needed because they looked a little asleep.
At the end, right?
Well, they started to come back together at the end.
For a second there, I saw one of the players from Alpha like hop in. It was just there were 2 players on the hill. You know, you never know what's gonna happen. But
Mixy finish.
For a second there, I thought they were gonna stop the clock enough, but it just wasn't there. And here's a
Oh my
replay of
God,
incredible shocks.
Vid was an absolute demon to start this game. He started at 8-0. I mean, that's exactly, and then they ended up barely winning by the smallest, the fingernail of a percentage.
I want to say all of them were hitting their shocks.
Yes.
Like every single person from Exlipse
sniper
was just,
shots especially.
Yes,
Hit your socks, kid.
Yeah, I mean, that's really all it comes down to. If you guys
Is
want to
it
be
a
good.
land buff?
Probably. I mean, these guys are also good online, and that's why people were thinking that they were cheating, because they're good online. But they've proven that they might be even better on land.
Well, what a way to prove that you are legit, you are for real, and you might just be next up in the HCS as Eclipse Solar. Take that series 3-0, and I can't wait to see what they do in pool play. Another thing that they have, an advantage you like, how many scrims have they got against pro teams? Does anybody
Probably
know
zero.
how to play against Eclipse Solar? It looks like even amateur teams didn't know how to play against Eclipse Solar. So they're going to come in. They've already surprised us this weekend, and they might just surprise some pro teams tomorrow in pool play.
It would be exciting to see. Alpha, what do you think really happened there? Could nerves really have gotten there a little bit, considering they were so close to qualifying here today? Now they find themselves on lower bracket. I think you're right. I think they saw what they needed to do here in this last game, but could it have been nerves, or is there anything else you
I think it's a mixture of them being maybe a little sleepy. Like, it felt like almost like they're playing lazy, like they expected to win. Maybe they didn't expect the level of firepower to come on the side of Solar Eclipse, so like not bringing their A game, because it just didn't feel like they were their normal selves. But at the same time, I don't want to say it was Alpha playing bad as much as it was just Eclipse playing that good. Like, it really felt like Eclipse were just playing, they were getting all the items and they were hitting all their shots with the items. It's like, that's just damn good Halo, honestly.
We know this from competing ourselves, Eli, through the open bracket. There's a mental component to getting to winners round 5 to make it to pool play and going, oh my God, we're not playing the team that we thought. This is good for us. Like, you get a little
Alpha's almost like
lacking.
Yeah, Alpha's thinking, oh, we thought we were going to play a tougher team than this. Like, that's kind of the way they think. Oh, we're the 2nd seed. They're the 10th seed.
And we're not saying that was
we're
not saying that was the case, but throughout the course of Halo history, 20 years now, there's a component of that for a higher seeded team playing against an absolute raw dog underdog.
Well, now Eclipse Solar move on to play against Dead Inside, who have also been surprising everybody on the upper grab. I mean, we had our eyes set on them because they were incredible firepower. Firepower? There's a better word for this.
No, I thought that was great.
Yeah, firepower in that squad, and now can Eclipse get through them?